Alright, so I want to take a few moments and do a quick overview of my gaming PC. Not my typical system here. I opened it up because I needed to dust it out. As you can see, it's quite filthy. It's in dire need of a good cleaning. Before I shut it down and power off, I wanted to take this quick video. I'm running an AMD FX-8350, which is the 8-core 4 gigahertz AMD CPU, and it is definitely a beefy CPU. It's very quick. I'm running 12 gigs of RAM. I had 4 in my previous machine, and when I went to go buy, I was just going to buy another 4, but they didn't carry the model I had anymore, and so I got the closest thing by the same manufacturer. It just happened to have orange heat sinks on it. I'm sure if I were to do some benchmarks or stress tests, I'm sure I'd find that I had some sort of bottleneck somewhere for using two different. These are 4 each and these are 2 each. But in what I do day to day, just the amount of RAM is more important, because I oftentimes come home and my wife has 600 Internet Explorer and 500 Chrome windows open, and so I need it to be able to handle all that mess that she throws at it. I have the stock CPU cooler, which gets quite noisy, I will admit, and it definitely gets very hot to the touch. So I'm definitely thinking of upgrading that. My case is a Rosewill Blackhawk, I believe, which I got because it was fairly inexpensive, but it has a lot of features I like. Like, it has screwless installation. Oh, look at those dust bunnies. Screwless installation for hard drives. Oh man, I even have a cricket in there. Well, you're gonna go bye-bye. It has screwless installation for larger things. The case also, if I ever want to, has grommets for cable management as well as water cooling, which is really neat. The top up there is designed for a radiator if I wanted to install a radiator on there. Well, I got it because of the ability to expand. Don't know if I mentioned my GPU is a AMD FX-8350, I believe. I've had it for almost 3 years, 3 years now. And it's done just about everything I've thrown at it, but it definitely is getting to the bit along in the tooth. So my motherboard is a Gigabyte. I couldn't tell you exactly which model because I just bought it because it was the one that said it was compatible with my CPU, since my previous motherboard wasn't. I'm just like, I need something that's compatible, but I've never had a problem with Gigabyte motherboards. Every single one has worked out of the box. That's not the case for other motherboards I've had. Had some MSIs that were no good out of the box. So, and they hold their value, which surprises me. I mean, you'd think an out-of-date motherboard, but when I was upgrading my machine this time last year, I bought just the CPU. When I looked at the specs online, it said that my previous motherboard worked with this particular CPU, but it ended up not. So I sold the CPU before I sold the motherboard, or before I got the new CPU. So I ended up selling the motherboard separately, and I got quite a bit of money for it, which surprised me. I don't remember what my power supply is. I want to say it's a 8 or 900 watt. It's modular. And I can pull those out here. There's some of the cables there. And then, except for what plugs directly into the motherboard, those are not modular. Those are just there. So, but a couple other things I like about this case is up here on the I/O ports, which is pretty standard. Has supports USB 3 as well as USB 2 audio ports. But this is something I really like. For hard drives, you can just plug them right in. You just put them on this, slide them in, and clip it in. and the computer recognizes it, and it runs at darn near standard hard drive speeds, because it's just a serial cable that plugs it in there, which runs down and plugs into the motherboard. So, and you're not going through anything else for that. So the case itself has a fan here in the back. I want to say it's a 120 millimeter or 140 millimeter. We have a bigger fan up there on the top, and then two smaller fans here in the front. So the air comes, these are pullers, so they pull air in. That's an exhaust that pulls air in, and then this exhaust. So I have two exhausting and three fans that suck air in. So if you have any other questions about my system, like I said, I definitely am thinking of upgrading the CPU cooler, because it just gets noisy. It holds the temperature just fine, it's just loud. And I'm running some older hard drives, so I'm probably going to think about getting an SSD eventually. That's my system.